tuning in, and this is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today I will be taking a look at something very, very fun. Growing up, one of my favorite movies of all time was the Goonies, and as you can see, the folks over at Funko have made 3 3/4 inch, says fully posable action figures. Now, the thing that's cool is, as you can see, it's a very thin card. It's actually not even punched. I think that's pretty cool. It's got this ReAction sort of thing, which nicely resembles Kenner, an old toy manufacturer from way back when. And these figures, I mean, you come around here to the back, you got a little image of all the Goonies, and then you got all the figures. You got Mikey, Mouth, Data, Chunk, and Sloth. Sloth, love Chunk. The thing that's really very cool about this is Funko designed these to be as if they were figures that were released in the 80s. So there is bad detail on here. The sculpts do not look anything like the actors. That's not a cop-out or them being cheap. It's just them trying to homage that, a specific era of toy making where things didn't really look like what they were supposed to. As you can see, I have 4 of them. I didn't get Sloth. There was a SDCC version, and then there's also a regular version. I just didn't care to get him too much. I wanted the 4 main guys. My favorite, well, I can't even say which one's my favorite. I like all of them for different reasons. Up first, you see Chunk, and then you got a nice image of him on the side. Really very neat. I love the Goonies logo on there. Like I said, it says fully posable, but I'm seeing like maybe 4 points of articulation, that being the head, shoulders, and the arms, but well, we'll see. It also does come with, or all of them do come with 1 accessory. For Chunk here, you can see that it looks like he comes with a Baby Ruth chocolate bar, but up next we have Data, or Dada, whatever. You can see the actor, and again, the figure does not resemble him at all. He comes with, well, what looks like the Pinter's apparel, actually, which is neat. Again, you got the ReAction logo right down there, come around in the back. All the backs are basically the same. There is no bio or read-up or anything like that. We have Mikey, who looks like he comes with the actual stone piece that they use to unlock some parts of the cave. I don't remember exactly what that was used for. I mean, I remember them putting that in. There's like a whole bunch of little pieces that are sticking out that they're trying to get that to fit in, but I don't remember what it actually opened up. And then you got an image right there, him looking at his map again. The back is exactly the same. And finally, we have Mouth, which nobody knows what his, I don't remember his real name, but you got a map right there for his accessory. I mean, all of these just, it says, you know, adult collectible. It's not a toy. I'm going to open these, but it's like, I almost wish that I got another set. I might go back to BBTS and pick up more just to keep them in package like this, because I think these look really very cool. But we're going to take a look at all 4 of these because it should be fairly easy. So without further ado, let's get these guys open and see how cool they actually are. Alright guys, so here we have the 3 3/4 inch Funko Goonie figures opened up and out of their packaging. And again, they really aren't anything overly spectacular, but it's great to finally have some kind of toy for a movie that I absolutely loved growing up. Kids my age, I really don't think that there's any that at some point in time did not pretend to be Goonies and run around and want to have those crazy adventures that these guys did. Now, starting off, as I said, they all do have individual accessories. And taking a look at Mouth, again, you can see that there really isn't much of a likeness, so to speak, for these guys that is accurate. It is what it is. They're just little action figures that kind of sort of remind you of it. Like I said, the accessory he does come with is a little tiny map, which my camera doesn't want to focus on, but you can see that there is some nice detail that is actually on it. That's kind of neat. It's supposed to be a map, so it's a little bit thinner, obviously, but I mean, it's cool nonetheless, and like I said, it just gives you that impression. And oh, I just knocked down Mikey and Chunk. I'm sorry, guys. But for the figures, they are honestly, they feel a little bit smaller than 3 3/4 inch, but that's what they're listed as. There is only 5 points of articulation. You got 1 here at the neck that rotates left and right. The shoulders rotate, so you got 1, 2, 3, and then you got the hips that move forward and, well, not even really back. It kind of, because of the sculpt here, you can see that it goes up and
hits his butt. So there's only 5 points of articulation, and honestly, even the outfit's not even really all that accurate to what he was wearing in the movie. It's similar, but not really all that close. The hairstyle is kind of similar, though. But again, it is meant to just be one of those terrible 80s toys that didn't really have a lot of detail put into them. So for that purpose alone, I think it works nicely. Up next, we have Chunk, and again, I mean, you can kind of see it with the other guys. Chunk, you can really see it that his jacket comes way far down past his butt, getting that out of the way, and it looks kind of weird, especially when you move this forward and everything. I mean, that whole area there just looks strange. Again, though, it's not going to look all that terrific. There is some paint blemishes up here. One thing that is very common with Funko figures is quality control is not necessarily all that great, and that's kind of unfortunate. You can kind of see it right here too, where it's like the paint isn't as thick as it needs to be, so the brown underneath is kind of bleeding through. But it's Chunk. One thing that I will say is that his accessory does kind of look like it's, well, a little turd. That's unfortunate, but it looks like a little turd. That's really strange. But, I mean, clearly it's meant to be his little candy bar. Probably the baby Ruth. That's really probably what it's supposed to be, but it just comes across looking like a little thing of poop. All of them do have little holes here on the bottom of their feet, so I don't necessarily know what that's for. But again, same articulation. The head rotates, the shoulders rotate, hips move forward, and like I said, they don't really move back because it's kind of squared off there on his the back of his hip. So there you have Chunk, and Chunk is famous for doing the truffle shuffle. Bonus points if you guys know what the truffle shuffle is. You can redeem your points for cool prizes and things of that nature, but not really. Here we have Mikey, who's really maybe the I don't want to say unfortunately worst looking in terms of the paint detail. You can see that right here. He's got a big giant chunk ripped out of his foot, which really does kind of stink. And then you come around to the back, and there's a lot of scrapes here on the actual back of the paint as well. He does come with, like I said, I don't remember what this was. It was a skull thing that had 3 little holes on it that I remember them trying to fit it against other pegs, and then when they got it, it wrapped around the wrist. I don't remember who it was. It honestly has been a while since I've seen this movie. But Mikey, again, same articulation. The head rotates, shoulders forward and back, hips forward and back as well. So there you have him. My favorite is probably going to be Data. One thing that's very cool about him is all throughout his costume, he's got these little painted bits on here that resemble the patches that he had in the movie. He's got the little 007 here on his belt. I like how they actually did the long trench coat that he wears. They split it here at the legs, but it still kind of looks like he's wearing that trench coat, except when you look at it from the front, I guess. But from the side, it kind of looks pretty good. He does come with his pinchers of peril, which are basically just a pair of chattering teeth hooked up on a little spring thing. And they actually put a hole in here so that you can actually peg that in. Get that in there, and you can have it hanging out just like so. I think that's really very neat. And he's got these other little details here on his chest, all of his weird gadgets and stuff. It's Data. $50 bill. $50 bill. Guys, we had the money to save the Goondogs. It's fake. It's fake. It's bogus. No, it's not. But like I said, I mean, these aren't supposed to be anything overly spectacular. They are just meant to more or less just homage those old 80 toys. And like I said, we never got these, so it's actually really cool to have them. So if you are a fan of the Goonies, I would absolutely recommend picking these up. I do wish some of the paint applications were a little bit better. I do understand that they're not meant to be super detailed in terms of the paint, but some of the sloppy paint applications I really wish were fixed. But as I said, that's kind of indicative of a lot of Funko stuff. It really is a very hit or miss kind of thing. In terms of retail, I have no idea where they are. But again, as I said, these are available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So if you are interested in picking them up, go ahead and click on that link down in the video description. You'll go there and you can pick these guys up and add
add them to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/teambotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. I'd also encourage you to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, as well as see what I have coming up for future release. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.